So call to order of the RBHS 208 board meeting on August 12, 2025. Can we please do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Caputo.
Present.
Mr. Durkin.
Here.
Ms. Gaska.
Here.
Mr. Novak.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Salis.
Here.
Is the board comfortable right now, or do you need me to, I'm checking the AC temperature.
It's warm. It's warm, but I'm still so wet from the rain that I'm kind of like a cooling towel. Dr. Freitas.
Good evening, honorable board members. And this evening, I would like to introduce our two newest student advisors to the Board of Education, Hannah Bugunos and Arian Hernandez, joining us today for the first meeting.
Welcome. Do you want to say anything to start, or would you prefer to keep quiet on your first meeting? Let me put you on the spot.
It's been a great first day, I'll say that much.
Okay, first day of school was okay?
Yeah, great to see friends again that I wasn't able to see all summer, and great to have even more time with friends that I was able to be with this summer.
Wonderful, wonderful. We will talk amongst ourselves and find one of the board members to mentor you and kind of give you some background. I know Dr. Freitas is obviously a resource, and the rest of the administration, just so you can understand kind of how the agenda flows and the things we talk about. And I'm certainly always available if you have any questions, and I think I speak for everyone that we're all here to support you, and we want to hear your input. That's why you're part of our Board of Education. And if I don't recognize you at some point, just give me a wave. Sometimes I get laser focused on what's in front of me, and I need that little kick, so thank you.
And the student board members meet with Dr. Freitas prior to every meeting and generate a student board member report.
Correct.
For the
Yes,
COW
ma'am.
meeting, unless there's only one business meeting that month. And then they'll have the report whenever we present our report. So you'll work with Dr. Freitas. If you have any questions, you could always send them to me or Dr. Freitas as well.
Thank you.
On the packet, okay? And you got your access to your packets? Everything's working?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the future, you bring your Chromebooks so that you could open up, or we can could we have Chromebooks also for the student board members?
I can get them set up for next time. If you want.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to the year ahead. Reports. I don't have a report. Did you have anything else, Dr. Freitas, for recognitions?
Nothing
No.
at the moment.
Okay. I apologize. No president's report. Dr. Skinkis.
25-26 school year is underway. Teachers reported on Monday and the students reported today. Harley, the RB Comfort Dog, is officially a member of the staff. His presence has been greatly appreciated all summer. Students, staff, and families have all enjoyed meeting and engaging with Harley throughout the summer. I think the building team is working through now, like, who will give who breaks so that Mr. Mann is not always walking around with Harley in his leash when he's doing some things, so I think they'll figure out a more of a set schedule, but the reaction of the students and staff was really positive. Would you agree, Dr. Freitas?
Correct. Yeah, and I would say the community, the parents visiting have also enjoyed Harley. It's our school dog, our community dog. Everyone's welcome.
Was he here for a new student?
Oh yeah, Harley's
so
a
he's been
full-time
here.
employee since you all approved him in July.
He was at the last 2 or
What's
3
the
residencies.
uniform allowance?
He was
That's the
at the
question.
residencies and all the events.
Okay,
that we had
wonderful.
thus far.
Okay. Great.
Maintenance updates. I want to recognize Berm Grishevik, our facility manager, and his Aramark staff for preparing the school for another school year. This summer, a lot of work occurred to address teacher work orders, capital repairs, and a deep cleaning of each room in the building. We have also had to address 2 HVAC units having parts fail over the last 2 weeks. So Berm's worked on that. We actually got the HVAC in special ed English wing to start up this morning at 9 o'clock. We got the new part is installed. So thank you, Berm, for dealing all that. Thank you to the Aramark staff. The building looks great. The floors look great. Everything's waxed and cleaned, and it's been a great first day back. And I want to thank Aramark for all their work. We did have, while the board is, just so you're aware, we did have to order a new freezer. I think we had a freezer that was 10 plus years old that shorted out over the weekend. And so we had to order a new freezer for the cafeteria. So that will be about a $10,000 invoice. Senate Bill 637. The team has been in regular contact. When I say the team, that's the high school, the zoo, architect, there's not an architect for this, engineer, construction manager, have been engaging in weekly conversations. General sketch for the group to work on as we move forward has been provided by the engineer. I'm scheduled to meet with the zoo at the end of August, first week of September, to begin lease language discussions. I have been in contact with Elizabeth Hennessy. I've had her lay out 3 or 4 different options of what that could look like if we need to do tax-exempt capital improvement bonds for site improvements and safety enhancements. I would anticipate the board seeing those in maybe the second meeting of September. I would do a finance advisory beforehand so the advisory council can see them. But from the preliminary review of what she sent me, us taking out any types of bonds will not impact the taxpayers. The taxpayers will still experience a tax savings on their property values because of the referendum bonds coming off the books. So it does sync up rather nicely so that we're not asking the taxpayers putting any additional taxes on the taxpayers. Fiscal year 26 budget, the tentative budget has been updated with the June 30th actuals and is included in tonight's packet for discussion. This will also be updated after tonight's meeting on the website until our hearing in September, where the board will take action on the final budget. The state's EBF amounts have been released and updated, as well as the federal title grants, so we're all good there. I know there was some concern with the Department of Education, but all that has been addressed. And we have received an additional $1 million from the state in our evidence-based funding. So our projected deficit has gone down, and you'll see that. I'll go through that later in tonight's meeting. I know this sentence says we are waiting for CP, the corporate property placement replacement tax. We got our numbers today, and we actually experienced about a 2% increase, so we'll be right around 568. I think last year we were at 557, so that's good. No reduction there. And then the Policy Advisory Council, press packet 119 has been released. It's included in your packet. I will schedule a Policy Advisory Council meeting before the September COW, and we'll provide our final recommendations for the board's consideration in September. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. And you're also giving Dr. Smetana's
I will be.
standard report, right?
Yes. The attached report will provide the Board of Education with the financial information from June 2025, representing 100% of the fiscal year, and then the July 25 representing the 8% of our new fiscal year. If we start with June, the monthly summary report, the total operating revenue for the month was $797,000, with 38% coming from evidence-based funding, 34% from federal and state reimbursement, and 16% from the property tax CPPRT.
Dr. Skinkis, can you indicate if we stayed at the same level for evidence-based funding, or did that change this year? I know that we had transitioned a couple of years ago.
We are still Tier 1,
Okay.
and that's why we received a large increase.
Thank you.
For FY26. Total operating expenditures for the month were $3,154,186. 60% of that was towards salaries and benefits, 14% towards operations, and 9% towards special education tuition and transportation. Monthly financial statements. The fund balance sheet shows the district finished the fiscal year 2025 with a surplus of $194,000. This surplus was due to receiving the budgeted revenue and not expending the money for the solar panel project. Remember, we had the $1.4 million budgeted. As that project was pushed to FY26, the projected deficit for FY25 was $1.2 million. So the fact that we were projecting $1.2 million and we finished with a small surplus is good news. The change in the timeline for the solar panel project accounts for the discrepancy. The operating fund balance as a percentage of operating fund expenditures, and that's without the $2.9 million set aside for the working cash that was approved in 2017 for the original zoo project, is at 56.5%, which is about roughly 6.5 months worth of bills and revenue. If the district did not receive any additional revenue, we could afford all of our bills for about 6.5 months. Summary of revenue shows the district has received 100.5% of our budgeted revenue for the fiscal year. This amount is lower. The previous fiscal year, we were at 102.5. The summary of expenditure shows the district has spent 96.75% of the budgeted expenditures. This is also a little lower. We were at 99.8 in the previous year due to the solar panel project being pushed to FY26. As regards to July, the operating revenue for the month was $700,000, with 40% coming from interest on investment, 18% from registration fees, and 17% coming from local revenue. Notice there's not many mention of property tax for July. Total operating expenditures for the month were $3.8 million, with 48% towards salary and benefits, 42% towards operations and maintenance. Now, there's see in parentheses there $1.5 million payment to Aramark. Aramark provides an option that if you do one lump sum payment, they provide like a 1.5% or 2% reduction in cost. So there's a cost savings in us doing the upfront payment at the beginning of the fiscal year. Monthly financial statements, summary of revenue shows district has received 2.2% roughly of our budgeted revenue for the year. This amount is lower than the previous fiscal year, where we were already at 14%. The summary of expenditure shows the district has spent almost 11% of the budget expenditures for the year. This amount is also similar to last fiscal year. Statement of revenues and expenditures for July 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2025 lists all revenues and expenditures for the month. It also compares budget to actual for each account. The student activity account summary, remember the negative account balances represent positive fund balances for those accounts, has been included for the board's review. Not much to report there.
So I do think it's important to note, and we've talked about this in prior months, with the delay in Cook County property tax bills, that 6.8 months of fund balance is incredibly important. The last I heard is a September-October release, and we are financially in a good place to absorb that. But if it goes any later, it starts becoming more challenging.
Correct. And that concludes the Assistant Superintendent's report.
Are there any questions on the year-end finances? Looking around. Dr. Freitas.
Greetings again, honorable board members. So, the 25-26 school year started this past Monday for our Institute Day, and I am grateful to the staff that we have and the professionalism they demonstrated, over the session. They received updates and engaged in topics of safety, student services, and student with accommodations to make sure we're serving all of our students. The first day of school was today. I saw the students enjoying Harley, our comfort dog. All the teachers and staff members help students get to classes. I saw great attitudes, good attendance. I saw pep in their step. They wanted to see their friends and begin learning. So I'm grateful to the great student body we have. They're a big reason why we've been an outstanding school for so long. New to RB and new to the community is the Parent Square and Student Square. We introduced this at residency, at family welcome back night. All the community parents received an activation email. However, activation is not required for parents to receive the information. They still get, up-to-date information via social media, via emails about everything that's happening at RB. But it's great to have a Parent Square as well. We recommend it. I have it for my kids' school. I know many parents already downloaded it as well, but there has been no break in communication if people don't have it. But get Parent Square and to the Student Square because we're going to use it. We introduced this year the 10-period bell schedule. It's been great. No more letters, no more confusion, at least according to many students. So it's been very straightforward. 10 periods, still 7 classes. Students get their lunches, but it's worked out. Open house is on the 20th of August from 6 to 7:30. Parents and students will get to meet many teachers, walk the schedule, and engage our parent organizations. Can you believe it? The 1st of September, we have Labor Day. It is a non-attendance day. Fall sports began as well this past Monday, and I think I walked into tryouts of volleyball. I have nothing to do with tryouts. I love all my Bulldogs. I cheer them on. But a lot of tryouts are happening now, a lot of practices. So good luck to all of our athletes and the coaches, and thank you for supporting extracurricular activities. Homecomings on the 19th against Elgin, our East Division Conference rivals, at 7 p.m. at the stadium. And the homecoming dance is on the 20th of September from 7 to 10 at the Kennedy Athletic Complex, our stadium. So great school year. Thank you to the support of the board and, of course, the superintendent. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see all the great things that we do together as a school and a community.
Great.
And that concludes my principal's report.
Looking forward to the year ahead. Any questions for Dr. Freitas? Okay, wonderful. Back to you, Dr. Skinkis. We had a couple of FOIA requests.
Yes, 2 FOIA requests. Elaine Nichols looking for names of employees, years of service to district, salary, position, email, etc. That is provided to the board. And we also received one from NBC Universal requesting some personnel records on a Mr. Adam Gibbons, who formerly was employed by the district, and that response is also included in the FOIA request.
Moving on to consent calendar.
No visitors, right?
Oh, thank you. There were no visitors this evening. Double checking. Good reminder. Consent calendar. We didn't have any questions or reason to pull anything
No
out?
questions were submitted on these.
So Ms. Gaska, if you'd be so kind.
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, takes the following action on the listed consent agenda items. Approves minutes from the meetings held on July 8, 2025, open and closed sessions, as presented in the August 12, 2025 board agenda packet.
So moved. Do we need a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Williams. And we do need a, that's an all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? That carries. Moving on to old business. Life safety items, capital improvement, sustainability. Is there an update on the solar panels or anything to stay here at this point?
Nothing to state at this
Okay.
time. We're working through engineer reviews and
Yep.
things like that.
Okay, wonderful. Tentative budget for FY26. This is the big item of the evening.
Okay, your tentative budget has been updated, and this will closely reflect what the budget will look like in September. We still have 30 days to make any more final adjustments. We'll adjust the CPPRT. And this, after today's meeting, I always want the board to see it first, then we will post it for the public. The approved tentative budget for FY26 has been updated with the June 30th actual, so you'll actually see how we finished FY25, and you'll see the different accounts where they finished, whether plus or minus to what we originally budgeted. Current special education revenue expenditure needs and evidence-based funding have been updated. The current projected deficit for this year is $535. This is due to the solar panel project expenditures for the fiscal year, which was budgeted at $825. So this deficit decreased from the previous tentative draft budget due to the release of the evidence-based funding, which will provide the district with an additional $1,056,000 state funding. Tentative budget continues to be available for public review on the district's website. The board will hold a hearing on September 9th. The public notice of the hearing has been published in the Landmark last week, July 30th, and in the Suburban Life, July 31st. Are there any questions to the board, from the board? If you look on page, well, that's at page 2 of the budget, but I'm trying to think, is that board book page? I use 90, mine says 92. I don't know if that's the same on your PDF.
I think that.
I think you're looking for this one. That's the
Significant revenue
expenses and-
assumptions.
Yeah.
So the one I was talking to you about is second from the bottom, corporate personal property replacement tax. Last year we budgeted 606. We only received 557. This year Kristen's tentative budget had 500,041, which is like a $65,000 reduction. We're actually going to be getting about 568. So that adjustment will be made. And then the evidence-based funding, she already updated that, but you can see last year we had 3.4 million, and next year we're projected to get 4.4 million. So it's $1 million increase.
Could you remind me on this, Dr. Skinks? I know we talked about it before, and if you need to get back to me. On the food service, we moved away from the satellite programs being billed directly. Why did that
We still have a
result in
pass-through, I believe, for one or two accounts.
I thought so I want to just,
We still have a pass-through for one or two accounts.
but we kind of took it off of here as a revenue.
District
expenditure.
95 shifted to where they no longer, they had to
Okay.
do some billing on their own, but we still have it here.
Is that why it's blank for fiscal year 26? Because it won't be happening then?
Correct.
So I think I would just say to my colleagues, I think these two summary sheets are incredibly important to the new board members. They really give you the high level. It shouldn't stop you from looking at the rest of the budget because we are approving the full document. But this, I think the team does a very good job in summarizing significant assumptions. And you can see where things like, the rate of insurance has gone up by 8%, right? These are some real expenses that occur to a large organization.
There were no questions submitted on the budget, so unless anybody has something from tonight you want me to look into.
I think we'll have the hearing at the meeting on the 9th, correct?
Correct.
And then we'll move forward from there. But as a reminder, anyone should submit their questions in advance, and you can get the answer as needed. Moving on to payment of bills. I don't think there were any questions submitted for any of the bills on tonight's agenda.
There were no questions submitted.
Okay.
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, approves the payment of bills as presented and discussed in the August 12, 2025 Board Agenda Packet.
So moved. Could we have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Durkin. We do need a roll call, please.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Gasko?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Salas?
Yes.
Mr. Caputo?
Yes.
And then we have the Press Plus policy issue, which just came out, which we're not taking action on this evening. But you want to speak to that, Dr. Skinkis?
Yeah, I just put it in the board packet. Now you have time to read this from now through September. I will engage my policy advisory council to conduct a Zoom and review it and provide any recommendations or changes that we identify. I will most likely have that on the September COW so it doesn't conflict with the budget hearing and some of those things. And we could either take action at the September COW and or the first meeting of October.
There was nothing with a retroactive date. They're all going to be 1/1. I think any of the legislation is my recollection. So I think we've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Was my point. We're not in a. There's no
Correct.
urgency coming to look at this today. Okay. Great. Thank you. Seeing no visitor statements, we can move on to. Does anyone on the Board of Ed have an item for additional discussion? Seeing none, any items for future discussion? If not this evening, then we will move on to matters for closed session, which can include appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, student discipline, individual student matters, purchase, sale, or lease of real property, probable imminent or pending litigation, collective negotiations, and school safety.
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, enters closed session for the purpose of considering the closed session matters as presented in the August 12, 2025 Board Agenda Packet.
So moved. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Williams. We do need a roll call to move to closed.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Salas?
Yes.
Mr. Caputo?
Yes.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Gasko?
Yes.
Okay. That was record time, 7:23.